Hello, welcome back. Guess what we're working on today? You guessed it, we are working on my 5.3 LS motor. This is a 5.3 liter truck motor out of a 06 Avalanche, I believe. I went 10-1 in the quarter with this engine in my Mustang. It fried the number 7 piston at the end of the season last year because I tried cramming a lot of tune in it on the last track day, and I ran way too much ignition and way too much boost for the motor. So kind of learned my mistakes there, and I'm definitely going to redo the tune up a little bit before I go racing again. But figured I'd get this thing thrown together, considering I got my transmission back yesterday. This is a Turbo 400 with just like Alto Reds and 36 element Sprague and a TCI trans brake. Now this motor and trans are going into my Fox Body Mustang. It's a 91, I believe, or 89. I don't even know the year of my own car, but it's a Fox Body. I use Dirty Dingo mounts with 4.6 Mustang mounts attached to them, and just made a cross member and threw this frickin' thing in. It was pretty easy, actually. So yeah, I got the cylinder heads out from my attic, and I'm just gonna kind of go through them and clean them up a little bit. Same thing with the oil pan. I just got to throw the oil pan on yet. I got to get a new gasket for this because I actually had issues with one of these oil pan gaskets one time. Now my Regal build, I don't know if any of you have watched my Buick Regal series. I just did 2 videos on it, I think. That car had a 4.8 liter and it had a bad oil pan gasket right around where it sits around the oil filter housing, because this piece right here actually broke away and it caused my car to have no oil pressure. So I'm going to get a brand new oil pan gasket just because I kind of have worries about that being an issue. And I would hate for it to be an issue again. So I'm going to go get an oil pan gasket and then throw the pan on, and then we will continue with throwing the the valet cover on and the cylinder heads. Alright guys, so I got my oil pan on. I actually ended up reusing that oil pan gasket that I had, and I put some RTV around where it was kind of busted a little bit and whatever, because a new oil pan gasket for one of these motors is like 50 bucks. And I'm reusing the head gaskets, so I'm not going to reuse the oil, or I'm not going to buy a new oil pan gasket. I don't know. I feel like it'll be alright. If it's not, oh well, I'll pull it out and fix it. But I'll take my chances and see if it'll work. I've kind of skimped on these motors a bunch, and they seem to always work, so yeah. But anyways, I'm going to be putting the driver's side cylinder head on now, and I'm just going to kind of go through with this and wipe down the surfaces. And here's my old LS9 head gaskets. These things were like 150 bucks, I want to say, when I bought them. They're like a 7-layer head gasket. They're really nice, and I never had a head gasket issue, and these head gaskets look good yet. So what I'm going to be doing is just copper spraying the old head gasket and putting it back on. Now, I personally have never reused head gaskets, but I truly do trust in Matt Happel from Sloppy Mechanics. I mean, he made over 1,000 horsepower with reused head gaskets, reused studs, everything. So I'm going to do it, and hopefully I don't bite myself in the ass later, but we're going to do it, and I'll get to putting the cylinder head on. Alright, I'm just using Permatex copper spray. I've also used the copper paste, where it's like a brush and you can brush it onto the head gaskets. I've done that with like really high horsepower Honda stuff, but never with LS stuff, like I said. But this is all I got laying around right now, so I'm just going to use this stuff. It should work just fine. And then when you put the head gaskets on, you always got to make sure that, like, right here it says front, so like this goes towards the harmonic balancer, where it says front here, and then obviously, the big square things here are where the lifters are. So yeah, let's throw it on. Alright guys, got the cylinder heads on. Got all the bolts in, torqued down. I torqued them to like 40 at first and then 95. It might be a little much, but I'd rather have them tight. And I have no idea if this torque wrench is accurate or not, but I've put it together a few times like this already and with no issues. So there you go, stock head bolts, reuse head gaskets, and 90 foot-pounds on the stock bolts. Mint! So now I'm probably going to be putting the valley cover on, which just is like a cover here for, whatever this is. It's funny, I skimp a lot on these LS motors. Like, I reuse the head gaskets and, I'm just throwing it together pretty much. But there's a reason I do it this way, is because it frickin' works. I mean, this car went 10-1. I probably had 20, 25 actual track passes on it, and then I had like 150 passes on the street. So, I mean, this thing is frickin' tough as nails. I really don't think that I'm going to spend the money if I really don't need to. So this is just what I'm doing. And if I do have issues, I will be telling you guys. I'm not like that. I'm not going to hide anything. But yeah, Hondas and stuff are a little bit trickier, and you kind of got to buy good parts sometimes. But I mean, these frickin' LS motors, you can literally just throw them together. All right, so now that the valley cover is on, I just got the push rods put into the holes. These things are pretty easy, just plop them right in. These things are so simple compared to a Honda, it's ridiculous. But anyways, now we're gonna put the rockers on, the rocker arms. So you're gonna have like these little aluminum plates right here that bolt on, just like so. Next up, we got the valve covers. After I got all the rockers tightened down. When I tighten the rockers down, I just use a 1/4-inch ratchet about this size, and just get it as tight as I can with the 1/4-inch ratchet, and send it. They're good to go. Now, valve cover, pretty simple. Just throw the frickin' thing on, just like so. Well, Michael just dropped off my cherry picker that I generously let him borrow to take his motor out of his Civic. And now it's time to get the Mustang pulled out and see if we can get this thing unthawed from the frozen ground.
You might want to turn that steering wheel completely straight over and stick the trailer. I might have to jerk it a couple times. Just to get it over here.
Solid.
I'll try budging you a little bit. Did it move?
Yeah.
Gotta get it out of the hole.
Yeah. There she goes. Right? Alright guys, Mustang is in the garage now. It is full of snow and frozen solid, but it is in the garage. So I was curious what you guys thought on whether or not you think I should do some work to the engine bay before I put the motor in. I was thinking about maybe just spraying it quick with a quick coat of black paint. I mean, it doesn't look terrible, but it's not, the best looking thing in the world. I don't know, or I might just chuck it in. I don't know. I'm debating. I could do this by myself, but I'm kind of waiting for some buddies to come over and help me put this motor and trans in. So in the meantime, I don't know whether or not I want to, prep the bay a little bit and clean it up a little, or if I just want to throw it back in like I said. This engine bay is already pretty simple. I just have, you know, my headlight harness right here. That goes to both the headlights, obviously, and then that just goes into the car. I don't plan on like tucking this or anything. I'm probably just gonna leave it. But yeah, there's just this harness right here, and then there's, you know, some brake lines, and then my starter wire that goes underneath the motor right there. And then this is the whole engine harness right here. This is for the Mega Squirt that just goes through the firewall over there. But yeah, this stuff's pretty simple. There's nothing really complicated about it. Look at that, I found a wrench. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing yet. I might just spray it down with some oven cleaner and then see how it looks from there. Alright guys, so it looks like Michael's gonna come over and help me throw this motor and trans in the car. I kind of oven cleaned and brake cleaned a lot of the engine bay, and it doesn't look any freaking different. So I might just do a little sloppy black spray paint. Hey, look who showed up. I might just do a little sloppy black spray paint once the motor's in, but I personally don't really give a shit too much about this engine bay. This car just kind of disappoints a lot of people when you look at the exhaust manifolds and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, let's see if we can get the motor in. Alright, so the engine is on the cherry picker now. We just got her hooked up, and I just threw my flex plate on and got it all torqued down. Right, Michael? Got her torqued down?
Yep.
Okay.
German spec.
Same with the head studs, we got those torqued down. Alright, so now we're going to have to lower this frickin' pig down to the ground so we can stuff that pig onto that pig. I already installed the torque converter. This just goes in. You pretty much just got to line it up, and it's got to slide into the input shaft, onto the oil pump splines, and then into the oil pump gears. So it should click 3 times. And if you guys have questions on if your converter is all the way in or not, you can actually measure from the face of where the bolt's onto the flywheel right here to the bell housing, and you can actually measure this. And I think on mine it's right around 1 inch or 15/16 or something from here to here, and that'll tell you if your converter is all the way into the transmission or not. Alright, so we're about to chuck this motor and trans in. Here it is. Got my bell housing bolts all in. You can only run 5 of the 6 because the TH400 doesn't have the 6th bolt right here, but shouldn't be a problem. And now we're just going to chuck it in. The Dirty Dingo mounts are already set from my last time I had it in here, but these are slider mounts. So normally you would leave these loose until you get the motor positioned where you want it, but I already have that set up. And then these studs just go right into the slots on the frame. Right down here, there's like a slot that the motor or the studs go right into, right here, on both sides. And then, yeah, that should be it. So let's get it. All right, looky here. It's sort of in. I got the mounts lined up, plopped right in, no issues. Mint. All right, so now I have to put my my fancy cross member in. This is something I made when I built the car. Yeah, it's just some 1/4-inch plate steel, but it works mint. And then I welded the bushing solid with some washers. Ooh. And it's been sitting in the snow all winter. Yeah, she's mint. Alright guys, so I think I'm going to call it quits for the night. I got the motor in and it's all bolted in. Got the cross member in and that's all bolted in. I just got to get the drive shaft and the exhaust on, and then put the wiring harness on, put some injectors in it, water pump, radiator, all that kind of stuff. So I should be able to do that stuff tomorrow. I'm pretty happy with how far I come today. I got the motor rest of the way assembled, got the trans bolted on, converter bolted on, and yeah, so all that seems to be good. I think I got to get a transmission dipstick because the one that I had in the car before actually broke. So I think I got to get a different one, and then I got to get some new transmission lines because these ones are kind of shot. So yeah, I don't know. Got to pick up tomorrow and get some more stuff done on this thing. It kind of shocks me how easy these LS motors are. A lot of guys say like, oh, Hondas are so easy. Hondas are so easy. And I agree. Hondas are pretty easy. But LS platform motors are just as easy. I was super scared to dive into doing V8s and LS stuff, but Sloppy Mechanics really freaking encouraged me to be able to do it on my own, considering he does this stuff like all the time too, and he made a bunch of videos on doing this stuff. So if you guys have not seen Sloppy Mechanics, I really think you guys should go check it out. Even if you're a Honda guy, just check them out, because honestly, you cannot beat how fast you can go with these motors and these combos in like a Fox or a G-body or a truck even. You can't beat how fast you can go for the money. Honestly, if you wanted to, you could probably build a near 9-second car for like $3,000. I didn't do that with this car. I spent a little bit more just because I was learning and stuff like that. But yeah, this is like one of the best platforms you can get for your money. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. We finally got to work on the Mustang a little bit. And yeah, if you guys enjoy the video, please smash that like button and subscribe if you're new. I'll probably work on this a little bit more tomorrow. Maybe not. I may take a break off just because it is like, I don't know, 3 degrees out right now, and tomorrow it's supposed to be like 1 below. So I don't know if my little kerosene heater is going to be able to do it enough for me to want to stay out here and work on this thing. But yeah, I don't know. We'll pick up tomorrow probably, or the next day. And yeah, hopefully you enjoyed, and have a good night.